Hey everyone, Jamie Paige here, and welcome to this video. This is the video that we are calling the Lost video, because here's the little story. I like to repost projects I've done in the past because you guys are always coming in and saying hi, and I just think there's things that you haven't had a chance to see yet. So I just want to make sure that happens, right? So I posted this tag album on Facebook and then had a question. Do you have this processed anywhere? Yeah, sure I do. That's what I first wrote, and I went and looked for it. No, it's not processed yet. So this is a lost video, and today I'm going to process this, what's kind of actually a basic kind of tag album. There's not a lot of huge tricks to this, but I do have a couple fresh ideas I do want to add to this. So it's not going to be the same exact album, but there is a thing that is kind of similar from this album to the one I'm going to make. And that is, this is my oldest daughter's wedding shower over a year ago. And now I'm getting ready. And this just some of the photos, some of like the more people photos is what I wanted to have in here. So you can see just how it's tags, right? And some embellishments going on and a photo. That's what each page is. That's as basic as it gets. But the one we're going to do today is of her baby shower, and a lot of the same people and same place. But I will tell you, I did not get a picture of me and my girls. It was a hard weekend. I'm just going to admit, my head wasn't totally in it. My mom was going, here's my mom. Love this picture. Mom was going through some super hard things this weekend, and it was hard, but we decided we were going to celebrate. And so we did. And then I celebrate by way of making an album. And then today we're going to celebrate the baby shower. Okay, the first thing I want to do is share with you some things that I will be using to put this particular album together. Now, the two key elements for me would be these dies. You can see the cover of the other one had this Moroccan tile die. So pretty excited to use that again. A couple of my favorite die sets to use is this nested tag die. It just makes it super easy, and the measurements are already done. This is like 4.5 by 5.5 and 6. And so that's what I'll be including in this album. Another die set that I love, and you've seen me use this one a lot, are the Sprigs. I will probably be utilizing these guys as well. And then there's acetate and vellum tags in this album. And I decided, because there's brand new pops of color out, so I grabbed, whoops, losing my stencils here. Oh, you see the umbrellas, because of a shower. Get it? Do you see what I did there? Anyway, these are a couple of the brand new pops of color that are brand new at ScrapbookCom. And let's talk about the color here for a second. This is Summer Peach. This is Blue Sky. Sky Blue, actually. Let's get it straight there. And this is Olive. So I think they're going to go with the color ideas I have here. And I was going to use these stencils for that. So I'll show you how that happens. Okay, and there's a couple of the embellishments that I have gathered here. I have this Paige Evans from her Bungalow collection. I've been working through... this is called Beautiful Day, but it's part of Fernwood from Vicki Boutin, as well as these stickers. And I've been using these in different places, but I really do love them, and I want to make some better use of them. And then I've collected a little bit of what I have left of these Tim Holtz. I think they're called salvaged tags. Everything will be linked below, and that super helps me when you guys click through those to purchase through the links. And this hello is like one of my favorite sentiment dies from ScrapbookCom. And then I'll need a scraper for the pops of color when I get to that part. So I had fun kind of gathering what I'm pretty sure I'm going to use, but there might be some extra things as well. And then there are the papers. There's acetate from ScrapbookCom. I am way low on vellum. I need to stock up on vellum again. And then I just gathered some papers, everything from crepe paper to Vicki Boutin to Paige Evans to Heidi Swapp. I think that might cover the gamut. Something I wanted to prep before I show you all the papers that I have ready to go for this album is the acetate with the umbrella die. And what I've done, I'm going to use the sky blue pops of color but I've added it to a little bit of texture paste only because I'm applying it to this acetate. And the acetate tends to be obviously a more slick surface. And so because I want the stencil design to sit on top of the acetate instead of going down in between, I thought adding a little bit of, so I want obviously the color to sit on top of the acetate. And so I thought by adding the color to the texture paste, the color pops to the texture paste, I still got the color, right? I still have this beautiful color, but then it's not going and seeping underneath the stencil. So that was the idea there. Now I'm going to set this aside and let it dry really well. I've already done a heart one with the summer peach. So this is good and dry already. And it was pretty small through the mini hearts. So I thought it would be okay without the texture paste. Okay, so I have some of my tags prepped like I just showed you. And now I have components prepped for the most part. I just kind of had fun pulling things together that I think are going to go into this album. So I have some die cuts from the Sprigs. I have some tickets from Vicki Boutin. I have a lot of components in here, labels, and these are going to be my reinforcer holes. You'll see how that works. Some die cut tickets, some paper for some notches, some phrase stickers, definition stickers. Here's the heart of my album. I'll share that with you. And also right off here to the side, I have a couple of these items too that I'm pretty sure I'll be grabbing from, so I'm keeping them handy. Okay, so this is what I have for my book. I prepped all my pages using the nested tags. I don't have these, whoops, that's the wrong way. I don't have these in like an ascending order. I just have them very assorted. Can you tell? I'm not organized here at all. And then in between a couple of these will be these acetate tags. The key for me to this album was using the Moroccan tile Slimline die. And as you can see, it's taller than what this tag book is going to be. And here's how I remedied that. I decided how tall I need this to be. Now, my tallest tag is 6 inches. So that's about as high as I want the cover to be. And so it's going to be about 6 inches. And so I'm going to cut it right there at a part where it's going to be open. This is the closed part of the die cut, and I call this the open end, right? So here's what happens next. I take a piece of paper, just a scrap piece of paper, and I like to just use just lining it up here. I like to use the cut place on here as a score. Whoops, let's get it straight, James. That would super help, right? Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I can get it so that I can have a score on that piece of paper. Need to kind of make this kind of a tight crease, and then it's going to glue in place there. What I want to do first, and I grab this brand new tape runner from ScrapbookCom, which I'm really loving this a lot. Okay, and then just gonna pop this up here so it's up against the fold. It's a little tricky. Just take your time. If this is something you're doing at home, this would work for any die that you're cutting that has an open end, right? You just need to close it off so that it's not, so that it has some structure to it. It has something that it's going to hold on to. Okay, and just trimming that so it's even. So that's going to be the cover of the tag book. Now, something I've done, I'm going to go through and do all these right now. I have cut out 1-inch circle punch from all the different patterns, and they are going to be my reinforcers. So you can either get fancy and create a score line on top of all those, or just fold it right in half. And again, it's going to require some adhesive. So I'm going to go through all my tags and do that right now. The reinforcement circles are in place, and then I have gone and given each their own little hole punch so that they can be bound together. So that's what this looks like so far. All right, the next thing we're going to do is grab our tags for the acetate part of this, and just going to decide, gotta find where this one is. Going to decide where I'm going to put these. I haven't quite made this a tag yet, so I'm just going to come through here and clip this corner, and then clip this corner, and that's as easy as that tag got made. So I like that on top of there, and I think I like that on top of there. I am fond of a variation on a theme, which means something that I did for the most part in this album was kept everything pretty much the same from page to page. Not everything looks exactly the same, but the way that it is layered are basically the same components. And I enjoy doing that a lot, actually. It's like I said, it's a variation on a theme. So you take kind of the same elements. And so what do we have here? This could be a tag. I have all these tags here that I'm going to be using, but I use this little ticket that I cut away from that one pattern paper. And then there's a definition sticker, and then there's a label. And for the front, we have a little title, right? So this is going to all need to get held together. Also, I have the want of some greenery here. So that's going to be part of that too. And then what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to staple all this together so that it stays together. What do you think? Can she make this happen? All right, so layer, layer, layer. Pop this in here. And pop the hello there. And I think it's going to be as simple as, let's see, what do we think? I'm going to pull that hello up here. It's trying to be a little lazy on me. I'm also going to staple through it as well. Oh, that's kind of fun. Love it when a plan works out. Then what I think I'm going to do to make sure I hold this in place, I didn't do it on the other one, but I think it's going to work for this just fine. I'm going to put that on the back side and then adhere all the pieces to this little ticket, kind of like a foundation, right? So I'm going to grab a big piece of double adhesive tape to secure this really well. I didn't do this on the first one, and I like, that's kind of fun too. When you go back and do an album again, you know, you're probably going to be a little more wiser and do things better. And then that's going to pop right on there. And we have the first page of our tag album. I went ahead and did the next page, and I did a little switch up here. Notice I have this as an acetate page. The reason I did that is because I realized I wanted this to be more see-through until you got to this, like, basically this third page. So I'll need to just punch a hole in it, and then hopefully it doesn't get caught on my lattice every time. And maybe I'm just gonna pop that down a little bit. So that's why I did that. So let me show you my formula here in live real action. Photo is going to be first with a piece of foam tape. I go every other side. So like on this picture here, the photo on this page here, the photo's on this side. On this tag here, the photo is going to be here leaning over on the left side. And then I'm going to grab a label. These are labels from my stash, so I don't have a link or a resource for you on these. Just want to make sure you knew that. Then after that label, I'm going to find a definition sticker. I think I want to kind of trim it down just a little bit, not a whole lot. It's just almost as big as the label. Actually, I'm going to do two things with this. I'm going to trim it down just a tad and then also cut it for that and for that to go like this. And it too will have, I think I'm going to do this, but I think I'm also going to have to cut this off. I want to dive into these guys here. I haven't opened these up, and I meant to have these already out so they were easily referenced, and it's always a good idea. I think I'm going to do that really quick here after I figure out what flower I want to use kind of big. Those are all leaves. Probably won't be using the leaves. I think I'm going to do this. Now, don't judge my hot gun. It needs to be replaced. But you know how it goes. You work and work and work. And you don't really worry about the supplies until they stop working. So, my lovely hot gun here is ready to be replaced. I just decided hot glue would be better for this. The layers going on. That way I can just stack everything on top of the other. And that is page 3. So hopefully you get an idea of the idea behind this particular tag album, how these different components go together, and how easy really it is to, gather all the pieces first, right? That's always just a great way to go about this. And then just have some fun with the embellishments. Pull die cuts together. Collect maybe one of your favorite sticker sheets and stick with those elements. And each page is going to look just a little different, just by virtue of the fact that each little piece is a little different, right? So I love that. And I wanted just to share that with you. I'm going to finish this page up here. And then I'm going to show you how the rest of this album turned out. I keep saying page. Obviously, it's not pages. These are just tags, little baby tags. I love them. I love them. And I'm just going to put that green in there, but there's plenty of green in the back. All right, let me show you how this worked out when I finish the rest of it up. All right, let me show you how this all turned out. You saw how the basics were, right? You saw the tags, you saw the acetate. Now this is how it looks when it all comes together. And this is just the funnest part. Or is the making the funnest part? I don't know. You tell me. Okay, so we have our Moroccan tile vellum cover. I love all those words. And so then just each of our tags. Don't you love the acetate? I love just how ethereal that is. And then each tag with its own photo and its own embellishment. And then I did something a little different on the very back, and I will show you that as soon as we get to it. It's just fun to have this whole variation on a theme and just be able to make a pretty quick tag for the most part, but then to also be able to have all these fun embellishments that go with it. So for the last tag, I didn't love the way the photo turned out that I had, but I didn't want to just toss it either. So I decided to take one of the tags I'd already made and just put adhesive around here and made kind of like just a slip-in pocket. So that's kind of fun. And also another way to, have your photo as part of the album, but a lot of emphasis on the embellishment on the front. Okay, so let me know if this was good for you. This was a lot of fun for me. Thank you so much for those who give me suggestions for what you'd like to see here on this channel, and I will see you in the next video.